Hello everybody, today I'll be talking to you about adding integers. Now an integer is a whole number, whether it's positive or negative, represented with no parts, meaning it cannot be a fraction or a decimal. So here we have a list of integers and there are specific rules to follow when performing operations with integers. So with adding integers, it's quite interesting. Because when we're adding integers, we have to look at the signs, and that will determine whether or not we're adding or subtracting. So in this situation, you have positive 3 plus positive 1, and that will give you positive 4. That's something that you have been exposed to since your first experiences with math. In addition, when you're adding integers, if you have two negative signs, you add them together, so 7 plus 2, which would give you 9, and you keep the sign. So a negative plus a negative will give you a negative. And one way to remember this is if you owe somebody $7 and then you owe them an additional $2, you're going to owe them a total of $9. Now, when adding integers gets a bit tricky is when you are adding integers that are of opposite signs. In that case, let's go back to the example of money. If I owed somebody $2, but then I paid them $8, I actually would end up owing them, I actually would have a positive value of 6. Now, how did I get that? Because if I had $8 in my wallet and $2 from that amount was taken out, I would have a surplus of $6. We do this when the signs are opposite. You subtract the two numbers and you keep the sign of the greater value. So let's look at this problem. We have positive 2 plus negative 5, okay? So in this situation, the signs are opposite, so I'm actually going to be subtracting the 2, and I take the sign of the greater value. So when I say greater value, I'm just looking at the numeral, not the sign in front of it. So because 5 is a greater numeral, this answer is going to be negative 3. Same example, always think of money. When you have $2 in your wallet, but something that you'd like to purchase is $5, you still owe $3 towards that balance. Another example is you have negative 4 plus positive 3. The signs are opposite, so you're going to be subtracting and keeping the sign of the greater numeral. So the greater numeral is 4. So I would do 4 subtracted by 3, which gives me 1, and give that a negative sign. So when adding integers, something to keep in mind is if the signs are the same, you add them and keep the sign. So just like 3 plus 1 gives you 4, negative 7 plus negative 2 gives you negative 9. If the signs are opposite, negative plus a positive, you subtract the two numbers and you keep the sign of the greater numeral. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask myself or Ms. Almeida when you see us in class. Thank you.